guys, Dan the Man again with Ralston Acres, farming around the Christmas trees. Well, what about the shearing? I promised I would get a video out on that, and here it comes. Hey guys, I promised you in our last video that I'd be showing you a little bit of something about the trimming of our trees. It is late April in northwest Georgia. Pardon the traffic noise. I'm having to film this up with the barn, so we're going to get a little traffic noise. But it's spring, late spring. We might call it early summer. And usually sometime in late April or early May, we start trimming these trees back. There is one thing that about this year. This is 2026, and we have had an extremely dry spring. We're running about 7.5 inches below normal in rainfall here at our location, and that's not real good. I was trimming some trees the other day, and I started to see a little stress in them. Matter of fact, there's about maybe 8 or 10 trees that are extremely stressed. Matter of fact, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to save them or not. But that's farming. That's just farming. But hopefully we'll get some rain over the weekend. By the time you see this video, it may be raining cats and dogs. I don't know. But at any rate, we're trying to muddle our way through a dry spring. But we still do some trimming. Let me talk to you a little bit about the machinery, first of all, that we use in our trimming. Let me show you this first one. The first one here is what I call a Beneke trimmer. It's got a Echo motor on it, and it is got a crooked shaft here. And it looks like a glorified weed eater with a crooked shaft and a blade that is exceptionally sharp. This blade here will turn this way, and it just is sharp as everything, and I try to keep them sharpened. And basically what you'll do with this trimmer, I'm not going to start it and get all that going, but you just start at the top of the tree and work your way down all the way around the tree. And people have asked me, well, how do you know what to trim off? Well, as you go through, keep in mind what you think a Christmas tree should look like, and then trim off everything that doesn't look that way. It could be a stray limb. It could be, something, maybe a forked limb or something. I know a lot of the cypresses have a stray limb going out, but whack this thing off and just go around the tree, and this will go all the way around. Now, you've seen videos with this before, and I'm not going to go through it, but for the sake of time. But this is probably one of the first trimmers that I had, is a Beneke trimmer. It does really, really well to sculpture the tree. Maybe when you're doing your first shearing, your first trimming, it does an exceptional job, I think, in getting that first shape, look to the tree. We're going to tell you what I do on the bigger trees, but this right here, for trees say up to about 4 feet, this does an exceptionally good job. Some people use them even up to 5 and 6 feet, and even 8 feet. I've done them on 10 feet. You get up here and you can still do it. I don't think you can get quite as well, or at least I can't, quite as good a sculpture on the tree as you can when it's in its first or second shearing or trimming. But this is a Beneke trimmer. It's very simple. It's very easy to replace the blades. I try to replace one every couple of years. Keep it maintained. But it's a good one. Most of your Christmas tree supply stores have this. Fraser Knoll in North Carolina, Evans in I think they're in Lower Alabama, and I think there might be some others. Maybe Peak Seasons might have it, in Atlanta, or if you're out west, there's one out west too. But they're not cheap. They're about, maybe, I don't know, somewhere close to $500 maybe, but they're well worth it when you're first starting to trim. Now, somebody asked me, well, when do you start trimming? Well, I had a gentleman tell me one time, he is actually the namesake for one of the trees that I grow here. I grow the Murray cypress, and Bill Murray, he told me when I first went to his farm, anything that's waist high is good to trim. If it's much below that, it's still trying to get its roots set and everything, but waist high, you're good. And you can start trimming and make it look like a Christmas tree. Okay, that is the Beinecke trimmer. Now, what do we do if it's taller than that? Well, I've got one for you right here. This would be one that I picked up at Ace Hardware. I guess you could find them at any steel dealer or Echo dealer. I know there's 2 or 3, 4 places up around me that carry either the Steel brand or the Echo brand, or there may be, is it Remax? There may be another one, but they're all pretty much the similar. This particular trimmer I use when the tree is, say, maybe 4 or 5 feet and up. It's like a hedge trimmer on a pole. I was introduced to this by a farmer in Middle Alabama around Birmingham, and he used it on his trees, and I liked it. And this is basically, it's a hedge trimmer on a pole. And you have the same stroke, the same up and down motion around the tree. Start at the top, I do, and work my way down. I like this too because, let me set this aside right here, because you can actually a little bit get up under the tree, just a little bit, and I like it because it would give you that that leverage to do that. These things, you can sharpen these. I suggest you go to a dealer to sharpen them. They're a little bit difficult to sharpen, but because you have to get that exact angle, and to be honest with you, I can't here. But it's got the steel motor on the end. It's about a 13 and a half, 14 pound machine, and it does a really good job in giving that tree, once it's got that good shape, giving that tree a haircut, basically putting it back in that same shape and going around the tree. Now, I had a question about this morning. You know, a lot of farmers will trim twice a year. Do I have to trim twice a year? Well, I'm gonna give you my opinion. This is just an opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. Remember my old adage, it's free advice and you get what you pay for. Well, here it is. If it needs trimming, trim it. In the springtime is when I like to trim, but like this year with as dry as everything's been, if I trimmed this same tree back, say in the fall, late summer, early fall last year, it hasn't put much growth on it. It hasn't come up with anything. I mean, it just really doesn't look like it needs it. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we haven't had a lot of rain and it's been dry. So I'm skipping those trees this year. I'm not trimming them. Now, the trees that I will sell for next year, I'm going to go over those about the end of August, and I'm going to make sure that they're trimmed up and looking pretty and looking like a Christmas tree should and all this. But I probably won't trim them till August. However, the trees that I did not trim last year, then they're looking a little bit woolly right now. So I'm going to go ahead and trim those because they haven't been trimmed in about a year. Here's the opinion behind this. Every time you trim a tree, you're putting an open wound on that tree. If you were to cut your finger, say, and left it open, yes, it would clot off. Hopefully you wouldn't die or anything like that, and it would make a scab and all that, but it would close itself off to the environment, and you would probably, without a tetanus shot, you would probably be okay. Now, if you step on a rusty nail, you might want to get one. But my point is, that's sort of like a tree. When you cut it, and it's sitting there, and it's going to harden off at that cut. You know, we don't want any kind of fungus, bacteria, anything bad to get into the system of that tree. Therefore, I limit the number of times that I trim those trees to, I'll trim them in the spring, I trim them in the fall if they need it, not any other time. I have one guy said, well, it's on my calendar to trim, so I trim. That may not be the best idea, in my opinion. You know, if it needs it, trim it. If it don't need it, don't. Because if you trim twice a year, that's 2 times that you could open that tree up to any kind of disease or anything like that that would come to it. Plus the fact that most trees will tend, especially the ones that we grow here and the ones that grow in the southeast, tend to bush up a little bit in the between trimmings, and the limb structure is not quite as strong. And customers like to put ornaments on the tree, and it would make a difference there. So that's my opinion there. I mean, if it needs it, trim it. If it doesn't need it, don't. I don't trim in the dead of the summer. I don't trim in the dead of winter. Obviously, I don't have time because I've got Christmas tree selling going on. But as far as, you know, when do I trim? I trim in the spring if it's needed. I trim in the fall or late summer if it's needed. That's it. That's it. And weather has a lot to do with it. So let's see what else we can come up with to talk about when it comes to trimming. Okay, we've talked about the Beneke trimmer, we've talked about the Easy Lift harness, we've talked about the, I call it hedge trimmer on a pole, and those are all the best equipment that I have as far as trimming trees. You know, again, I go back to the idea of weather when it involves trimming. You know, most of the Christmas tree farmers that I have been around are somewhere in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And, you know, health comes into play when you're out here in the summertime or late spring and you're trying to trim trees, and you've got about 150 trees to go, and you're going to force yourself to get those done, and it's about 98 degrees in August. Be careful. Always hydrate. Always make sure. I'm the world's worst. I'm taking my own advice here. I'm the world's worst. But hydrate. Keep your liquids going in you, because even with the Easy Lift harness, it's black, and you're gonna get hot. And when you're out here in the sun, you're gonna get hot. Sunscreen's another thing. You know, we don't want any kind of bad things to happen. I know when I was growing up, some people would put iodine and baby oil, and I mean everything. And today, you know, I don't want to look like a leather briefcase, you know, but today, you know, when you get older, that's when some of the bad stuff starts to creep in. Thankfully, I haven't had any of that. But my point is, use a sunscreen. There's no need to get out here and get sunburned and complicate, you know, your enjoyment being out here amongst your Christmas trees. Sunburn, stay away from it. Put plenty of sun lotion on or sunscreen and stay hydrated. So with that said, this is a sort of a short video, but I wanted to bring it to you when we're talking about trimming Christmas trees. If you haven't liked us, please hit the like button. That helps the algorithm, and it helps us being able to bring these videos to you on a regular basis. And also, if you haven't subscribed, it doesn't cost you a penny. Please subscribe. Hit that hit the subscribe button. Boom, right there it is. Hit it, and that way you'll be sure to be alerted when all these videos come out, especially if you're thinking about being a Christmas tree farmer, or if you're already one. These are just some ideas that this old Christmas tree farmer has brought up, especially if you were to want to comment and let us know what some videos that you might want to see. Possibly we could get those done for you sometime this summer. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. We've got some funny videos on there. But for now, this is the trimming edition of the Farming on the Christmas Trees. We'll see you next time. Come back and see us on Farming Around the Christmas Trees.